Man. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's there we go. The the red light is on, ladies and gentlemen. The red light is on. Y'all know what time it is. Hold on, wait. Let me get my camera together. I'm over here. This damn cat. You touching stuff, man. I'm messing up my angles. What's going on, everybody? You know how it goes. Tuesday night, 9:30-ish. We back in the building. Once again, it's another episode of Rec Room Sports, man. And it's crazy because we got so much to talk about, so much going on in the world right now, sports, and at the same time, it's a few things that just jump right at you. Almost want to take a knee, if you will, you know, to take a moment and talk about it. So we're going ahead and jump it off, man. First of all, everybody, one time for everybody on right now. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're gonna start it off at the top, man. Real easy, like the warm up. Take a knee. Javonte Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. Now, everybody, just in case you don't know, I do a show on Wednesdays with my guy Nick Botkins. Big shouts out to Nick Botkins. And Bobby Blunts. What's going on, Bobby Blunts? And we do head kicks and haymakers on Wednesday, where we talk all combat sports, UFC, and boxing, especially. And this past weekend was a fight card that we were kind of all looking forward to, which featured as the main event Javonte Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, as they tried to unify their division once again, or somebody tried to take Tank's belt, as you can say. And it was an interesting fight, man. Jay and I were having a conversation. We were talking about it. It was like, man, how many more fights? And I know Jay was trying to make it to his destination before the fight started, and I was in position. And as it started, it was going on, the clock's turning, and I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen. And I'm gonna tell you what kind of gave me an odd feeling about the fight. You know, ring walks are important because the fight starts before you get to the ring the majority of the time. And when I saw the dipset, when I saw the dipset with Javonte Tank Davis, I'm talking Jim Jones, I'm talking Joel Santana. Ain't even no camera now. We ain't even talking about Cam. We ain't even do Killer Cam. We ain't wearing no pink nothing. Of course, the event was held in the Barclays, right? So you know that's Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not come with Fab or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe FABOLOUS. You want to bring somebody out there? You know what I'm saying? The locks. Y'all remember the verses? Remember the appeal that the locks had at the verses? Why not bring the locks out? But instead, Tank brought out god dang on Jim Jones and Joel Santana. That was the first signal for me that this was going to be an odd night for Tank Davis. But then the fight took place. We get into midway through the fight, and all of a sudden, Lamont Roach lands a good right hand. Everybody knows Tank Davis fights southpaw. Lands a right hand to his eye. Tank Davis looks around, he looks left, he looks right, and he takes a knee. But he doesn't stay down. No, he gets right up, he runs to his corner, he sticks his head out, and he screams. It's inaudible, but I'm assuming he goes, "Hey man, wipe my face." You know, hey yo, come wipe my face real quick. You know what I'm saying? He said something of that nature. And everybody who's a fight fan, we imagine, or if you don't know, when you take a knee in boxing in the ring, you are supposed to be issued a standing 8 count where the referee counts to 8, wipes your gloves off, asks you to walk forward towards him to make sure that you still are maintaining your balance as you can go. And then boom, the fight goes on, right? That's how it's supposed to happen. That's how it's supposed to happen. But no, Tank took a knee, right? Got up, got his face wiped off, and continued to box. There was no points deducted, none of that. Now, somebody else is going to say, Lamont Roach took a knee. Now, if you watch the fight closely, they were in a bit of a tangled up moment. Tank had him basically in the headlock and kind of pushed him to the ground, which influenced him to kind of take a knee. All right, I give him that. But somewhere in there, Tank Davis took a knee. Now, in the end, the fight was still a good fight. It was very competitive. I think Lamont Roach did one of the best, one of the best title contentions for Tank that we've ever seen. I've never seen it I've never seen it where Tank is almost put in a position where he can lose, and he visually knew it. You know what I'm saying? That Philly shell style when he was rolling the shoulder on him gave Tank very little flush surfaces to swing at. And everybody knows Tank is a volume, not a volume, but a pressure puncher. He will take you out with one swing. And giving him little or no room to land punches at was I think, based around Lamont having had, experience with him. Now, Jay, you got a chance to watch the fight. We still got a little bit of time for the warm up. I think we waiting for Miss April. Bobby, I know you didn't get a chance to, but now that we're a couple days later, maybe you saw something. Like, as you know, the fight ended in a draw, right?
Hmm.
If it was in any other instance, the knees would have played a part in the scoring process, and I think Tank would have lost, which would have given the belt to Lamont Roach, which would have set in motion several other things. What do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I wanted to when he, the whole grease thing. I was already calling it out. I was like, yo, that's the pretty boy thing. It was just I was just, soon as he told my man in white, this part right here, I was like, yeah, it's the grease, it's the grease. Y'all was pulling for Roach the whole time. I felt Roach had him. I felt when you put your knee down on the mat in that manner, it's supposed to be a knockdown. Or what he should have did was at least, go to the ref, face to face, like, hey, I got a problem, and have him, pretty much stop the fight or whatever for momentarily, so that he can go ahead and get checked out or whatever the problem could be. It could have been a health issue. He could have been dizzy. He could have felt like he couldn't breathe. It could have been anything. In that situation, you are told to pretty much approach the ref. You know, Nobody's gonna hit you with your hands on the ref. I mean, that's just one thing that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird fight, man. Back to the walk-in. If for you boxing fans out there, I pretty much compare this to, I don't know which is worse, having Dipset walk you out, or your boy having Shine come out, walk him out just to get knocked out. And that was oh my gosh. Who had Shine walk him in and he got knocked out?
I
You don't
can't
remember? You
remember.
don't remember? Y'all
I
don't
I, I
remember?
recall, I recall, I recall, but I don't make me lie to you.
Yo, golly, it's crazy how his name just. Anyway, like as far as Roach is concerned, man, like you can't fight a better fight. I told you I felt like he was fighting a little too cautious. You know what I mean? Like he was a little too cautious. Even his corner got on him, for a second, which was late in the fight. And he told him, like, when he gets in there toe to toe with him, he's like, and it was like, in other words, he's telling him, like, hit some combinations. Don't just go for that one blow and then sit back and then wait. You know what I mean? And I was a little disappointed with the outcome, and I was disappointed
Was
with
it
the
Zab
fact
Judah?
that Sab Judah, thank you. So Zab Judah, and that's crazy. Zab Judah gets walked out by Sean with the hottest song out at the time. You know what I'm saying? Which was Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? The whole diddly 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 diddly. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing. Like he took it to the ring. You know what I mean? And he got knocked the hell out. You
Knocked out.
understand? So which is a waste of a great walk in. You know what I mean? Yeah, now you get walked in by Dipset. That's you know, me and my cousin were looking at the fight, and we just looked at each other like this ain't it. This ain't how you want to start a fight, man. Not with Dipset walking you in. But nah, Roach overall, he held it down. I don't know as far as the politics that you kept explaining, but both of them giving up their, not switching belts. Uh, you know, will it be a rematch? I want it to be a rematch. But the grease, it was the grease, man. You got that royal. that royal
that royal blue.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
That
was
joint.
I was clowning like it's that orange can of Murray's that never goes away in black people's houses. Y'all know somebody with that orange can of Murray's. Been around for 10 years. You give it to your son and they pass it to their son. You get waves though. Don't get it twisted. You put that Murray in there and the do-rag on, yo,
That's what it was.
you gonna have some we gonna have some waves.
That's what it was.
Bobby G, man, did you get a chance to catch the fight posthumously?
I did. Oh man, he didn't kill them both off.
They
not
did
post,
for they
not
did for
posthumously.
2025, bro. It's over. It's over for 2025.
Yeah, I did, but I also got to partake in my favorite parts of the fight, and that's the pre-fight presser, the last pre-fight presser, and also the weigh-in. And this fight looked oddly familiar to me, and it's funny that you mentioned Zab Zudu because this fight looked a lot like me when Floyd and Zab fought. If you know anything about boxing, this is really, or not even boxing, about Gervonta. This is uncharted territory for him. This is the first time he's really fought a friend. You know, boxing often will put friends, turn your best friends to your worst enemies. His previous fight, he fought Frank Martin, and yet they sparred against each other, but that wasn't his friend. So he was looking to stomp him out. He and Roach are friends. Their families are friends. And you look at that final presser, Tank refused to talk bad about the dude. He said, I'm not gonna talk bad about you because your mom's is right there. Now I know your mom's and that goes to this. That goes to this right here. That mental. He wasn't mentally prepared to do damage in this fight. Like, go back and look at Mayweather and Zab Judah. Same thing. Remember, there's a famous story that Zab tells. He was like, when they was both coming up, they're best friends, and they met Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson said, y'all gonna have to fight each other. They're going to make you fight each other. And they just laughed it off. And he said, lo and behold, a few years later, we're in the ring with each other because that's where the money took it. And you watch that fight and look at both of these fights. They literally parallel each other. Remember, Zab knocked Floyd down in that fight. He knocked him down in that fight. His glove touched the ring. And same thing almost happened. No knockdown. In this fight, his best fight is coming from a friend. Like, he knows him. Super uncharted territory. So it was like, I agree with you both. It was weird from the beginning. I think that's what made it weird. Like, Gervonta didn't really know, like, bro, I want to hurt you, but I don't want to hurt you. The same thing with Roach. Like, Roach is when you say he was like timid, it's the same thing. Like, I don't want to embarrass my friend. Like, I want to win, but I don't want to embarrass you. And unfortunately, like, we had this conversation a few shows ago, but you can't play boxing. You can't play boxing. And the money will lend this to warranting a rematch. But I think the only way it happens is if both of them, in this case, both of them have to get over the mental hurdle of going to war with a friend. And we'll see whether they value their friendship or the dollars more in the future. If they value their friendship, they won't fight again. If they want the dollars, they will fight again. So, but yeah, I agree with both of y'all. Yeah, the ref, I don't know whose payroll you was on, or I don't know. I think he just kind of got like in the moment. You know, when something happens so quick, you don't know how to react. You like, and then you already passed it so quick that you just, all right, I'm going with it. It was like he just got him on surprise. Gervonta went down, ran to the corner, got fired. All right, let's go. Like he called time out, time back in. Like, he just did it himself. He refed his own fight, and the ref is like Will Ferrell. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's my guy.
Yeah, the ref is just. I really don't know what to do. It was a unique situation. Hey, welcome to high high level prize fighting. There's always something. You got people parachuting in the ring, people biting ears. Now people calling their own timeouts.
And speaking of the ref is a very well known ref. And I believe he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame already because he's been around for a while. Is referee Steve Willis. You know, they've been putting the memes out because Steve Willis does have a bit of a vision impairment. If you look at the meme, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you know, in the end, man, like we're gonna go ahead and get into it like this, man. So the division has title holders for different for the, you know, different, like, let's say not divisions, but of course, well, basically divisions. So you got Vasily Lomachenko, you got Keyshawn Davis, you got Tank, and then you got Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson just beat Josh Padley about 2 weeks ago. Tank just had a draw. Vasily Lomachenko is pretty much getting old and is pretty much not considering boxing people because they're making it unfair for him and his age to box. And then Keyshawn Davis isn't excited. This is one of those situations where they are going to rotate this fight and it's going to hold everybody up. It's going to hold everything up for 2025. And we're probably going to not have that fight until the fourth quarter. If we have that fight, it won't be to the fourth quarter. They'll probably do it in a big venue. They probably do it in Vegas. You know, maybe they did it in New York, so they got to do it in a California, Las Vegas venue. Big shouts out to Bobby G. Guess what, dog? We might be having to take a road trip to start the show.
This is Rec Room Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic or your boy K Witt. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fist. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo.
Yes, sir. Once again, it's on. It's a big Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. March 4th, the first Wednesday of the month. I hope everybody went to church and got that communion. You know, that communion wine and that cracker. You know, got to make sure you get yourself right. Anyway, of course, and even if you're not a celebrating Christian, it's also March, so it's Ramadan. So shout out to all my brothers and sisters of Islam as well. Salam alaikum. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. We're representing for East Side over here in the rec room. Of course, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy K Witch, Mama's #1 draft pick. I'm in the building. I made it. Another month. It's crazy, man, because I feel like the year is already going by rather quickly. Somehow, some way. It's like speeding through, and we are already in March. Somehow, some way, we're going to be saying Merry Christmas in no time. Once again, bro, we got the homies in the building, man. You know how we do it. So we got my guy, Las Vegas is on, but Cleveland is on. What's going on, Bobby D? How you feeling, bro?
I'm chilling, man. You know, hope these Cavs get it together. Shout out to everybody waiting. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Champ C in the background.
Word, yeah.
Hey, let's do it.
Right. Worldwide champ. We see you. We got some football to talk about. Goddamn. Then, of course, we got Mama Bear, a.k.a. Dr. Susette. We got Jess Girl. What's going on, Miss April? How you doing today?
What's up? How's everybody doing? Hoping y'all doing good. Currently fighting COVID in my house, so wash your hands, wear a mask, stay inside.
That's a rule right there. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and stay inside. You gonna stay covered. Then of course we got JWIC. Jay, what's really good, bro? How you doing?
Catching the screen pass right now. Yeah. Feeling great.
Oh, oh yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So man, each and every Tuesday, right around 9:30, man, it's the Rec Room Sports Crew. We get together, we talk that talk, we walk that walk, and we're gonna be getting to walking right about now. So I'm excited to go ahead and get straight into it, man. There's so much going on, but we're gonna start right at the top. Miss Jets girl, you got that thing ready for us?
Of course, of course, of course.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but March is Women's History Month. All right, yeah. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Okay, so as we get it going, man, our good friend Miss Jess Girl is going to do us a few things. One, she's going to represent for us, and two, she's going to bring us some notions of what's going on in the world of women's sports. So, ladies first, the past few years in women's sports have been phenomenal. Miss April, you got the floor.
So, at some point, we are going to go back and we're going to pay tribute to everyone that has paved the way for where we are in women's sports. But with 2024 being such a big year in sports, especially with women's sports, I just want to highlight some stuff that happened between last year and up until today in 2025. So, a couple of them everybody knows, but I wanted to shed some light on some little known facts that people may not know. Arissa Teru, on May 29th, 2024, at the age of 14, she became the first female skateboarder to land a 900 and a half pike, a feat previously exclusive to male athletes. She became Australia's youngest Olympic gold medalist when she won the women's park skateboarding event at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. I'm going to mispronounce this, so excuse me if I say this wrong. Michaela Schifrin. She has reached a level that few athletes have reached in any sport. On February 23rd, the 29-year-old notched her 100th World Cup victory in Italy. She is the only skier to win in each of the world's 6 disciples. She has won 16 Gold Globes, 5 of which are overalls, Alpine's most esteemed achievement. She has also earned 3 Olympic medals, 2 gold, 15 World Championship medals, 8 of them gold, and she's tied for the most in ski racing history. Tara Downer. On September 21st of 2024, Tara set the record for the fastest known time to complete the Appalachian Trail. The 31-year-old ultramarathoner from Virginia Beach finished the 2,190-mile trek in 40 days, 18 hours, and 6 minutes. The trail, which spans much of the eastern United States, stretches 2,190 miles across the Appalachian Mountains and through 14 U.S. states, much of it in the wilderness. In September, she set a new speed record on the Appalachian Trail, finishing her hike through in just under 41 days, beating the previous record by 13 hours. So now I want to fast forward to a couple that we actually know. So let's fast forward to the Olympics. So if you didn't know, this past Olympics was very historic for women in general, all across the world. It is the first time that women represented a record 49% of the total athlete population in the Olympics. In 1960, women only represented 11.4% of athletes. So with that being said, I just have a couple little points of things that happened during the Olympics that I want to shed light on. During the gold medal match between the U.S. women's team and Brazil, the soccer game, they drew a combined 10,008,000 viewers between NBC, Telemundo, and Peacock, making it the second most watched soccer match in the United States last year. The only one to beat that was Copa. Copa had 12.4 million. Team USA won the first ever medal in women's rugby. They won the bronze. we are now also getting a rugby team, or excuse me, a rugby league in the United States. It should start in 2025. But that was huge because rugby is not big in the United States. So for them to win their first ever medal, and then now we're getting a league, that is huge. Women's basketball earned its 8th consecutive gold medal. They had 10.9 million viewers, despite being in a less than ideal time slot. 10.9 million watch the final women's game. For track and field, the U.S. track and field team came from behind to win gold in the 4x100 relay. Shakari Richardson took them from 3rd place to 1st in her leg, and she helped them win the gold. Sydney McLaughlin Laverne, she secured not only the gold again, but she beat her own world record that she set in June at the Olympic trials. She finished with 50.37 seconds. She was 0.28 seconds faster than the world time that she set at the trials in June. Katie Ledecky, on the anniversary of her first gold medal in the women's 800-meter freestyle, she won her first medal on August 3rd in London of 2012. She took home her fourth consecutive medal in that event. With that win, she now has 14 Olympic medals, 9 of them gold, making her the most decorated U.S. woman athlete to compete in the Olympics. So one of my personal favorites, because I love watching her play, Coco Gauff. On November 9th of 2024, she became the youngest champion in 2 decades at the WTA finals. She also collected a $4.8 million check, earning her the #1 spot in Sportico's highest paid females athletes list for 2024. On January 17th, 2025, my coach, Don Staley, signed a $25.25 million extension with the University of South Carolina, making her the highest paid coach in women's basketball history. Shout out to Don. Unrivaled basketball. In January 2025, the inaugural season of Unrivaled Basketball started. It is the first of its kind 3v3 league co-founded by WNBA stars Napheja Collier and Breanna Stewart, with an average league salary of $222,000. The Orlando Pride won the National Women's Soccer League Championship, capping off arguably the league's best season in its 12-year existence. The Pride were a pivotal point of the record-setting season, going unbeaten in 23 straight matches, setting new records for most points, clean sheets, and wins in a single season. Fans were out in a higher volume than ever, with over 2 million fans attending games during the entire season. The season culminated in the most watched championship programming on record for the league, with a record-breaking 18.7 million viewers tuned in that weekend. Speaking of really high viewing records, the Katie Taylor and Amanda, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, so wait, correct me. Is it Serrano?
Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, Serrano. Fight averaged 74 million viewers globally, making it the most watched professional women's sporting event in U.S. history. Shout out to New York Liberty. They are one of the original WNBA franchises. They won their first ever championship this past season, defeating the Minnesota Lynx. They went 3-2 in the series. The entire season for the WNBA was a record-breaking season, with them having soaring attendance numbers and viewership. The 2024 title marked the first championship for a New York basketball team in 48 years. Shout out to the women, because the men can't do it. Also, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, they had a total of 2.2 million viewers, but they peaked at 3.3 million, which made it the most watched WNBA game in 25 years. Speaking of WNBA, they weren't just successful in 2024, they dominated. They were ranked the number one fastest growing brand in America. Or 2023, it was ChatGPT, just for reference. Not just in sports, but across all brands. This is the first time a sports, men's or women, league topped morning consults list, outpacing giants like Ben & Jerry's and Apple. In July, the WNBA secured a historic $2.2 billion 11-year deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. The 2024 draft averaged a 2.45 million viewers on ESPN, the largest in league history. They outperformed the MLB draft and the NHL draft for the prior years. A'ja Wilson, my baby. On September 15th, 2024, she became the first NBA player to score 1,000 points in a single season. In 2024, she set single season records with 1,021 total points and 450 total rebounds. Angel Reese actually had the record, and then A'ja Wilson beat her out in the last couple of weeks. But A'ja is the first player to lead the NBA in total points, rebounds, and blocks, 98 in one season. And then she unanimously won her third MVP in 2024. Caitlin Clark. On Sunday, March 2nd, 2024, in her last regular season home game, she scored her 3,685th point, breaking Pete Maverick's The Pistol record for the most points ever scored by a Division I basketball player, men or women. She also broke the WNBA single game record for assists with 19, and she broke the season record for assists with 337. She is the first WNBA player to be named Times Athlete of the Year, and she was named that in December of 2024. Last but not least, Simone Biles. She made her epic return to the Olympics at the Paris Games in 2024. Not only did she earn 4 more medals, 1 silver, 3 gold, give her a total count of 11 Olympic medals. She now has a total of 7 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. In all, she has 11 Olympic medals and 30 championship medals, making her the most decorated gymnast in history. She is also widely regarded as one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, and she is one of the greatest Olympians of all time. She also has 5 moves named after her. They are the Biles 2 on vault, the Biles on floor, the Biles on balance beam, the Biles 1 on floor, and the Biles 1 on vault. So last Friday, something pretty historic happened on the very last day of Black History Month. A Black gymnast that happens to go to Clemson University in the great state of South Carolina, by the name of Bree Clark, made history as she was the first collegiate gymnast to land the Biles 1 tumbling pass in a competition floor routine. And yes, Simone did see it, and Simone did comment on it. And so if you haven't seen it, go to Instagram. You can actually see her reacting to it. But yeah, she made history on the last day of Black History Month by recreating another Black gymnast move and being the first to ever land it in competition. That's awesome. Shout out to Bree Clark.
Gotta blow it up after that, man. One time for Miss April, Jazz Girl in the building. We talk about women's history, of course, Women's History Month. When we say Women's History Month, we're gonna run the whole thing out. You best be paying attention. You know what's crazy, man? As I was listening to several things, it made me think of a woman that got a lot of attention from the Olympics this past year. Okay, made me think of someone who may have gotten bad publicity, but in the end has flipped it to her advantage from what was done during the 2024 Olympics. And I'm talking about Miss Rachel Gunn. That's right, Ray Gunn, the competitive breakdancer from Australia. Let's not forget she did a bunch of those moves that a lot of people was copying, a lot of people was copying and trying to emulate. But Miss Rachel Gunn has taken those routines and powered them into 2024 and 2025 allure throughout the internet and social media. She has been ranked as number one by the Dance Sport Federation. Okay, so somehow, some way, everybody liked to clown her for going out there and doing those dances. Everybody was talking about her doing the reptar, okay, and doing the seashell thing when she was lying sideways. But guess what, though? Real women prevail no matter what. So big shouts out to Miss Ray Gunn. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all see her on the
Okay,
MTV Awards last year? Because they
wait.
little did people know she got a solo out there too for what she did. What's going on? What's happening? What?
Side note, she actually can breakdance. So I went online and I've seen her videos. I don't know what that was at the Olympics. I don't know. But she can actually breakdance. So like
She can
she's actually really
dance.
good. And I didn't understand what she was doing at the Olympics. Because I've seen her on Instagram and YouTube. Like, she's good.
The
She's
thing is,
really good. I just didn't
and I
understand
read
it.
it in multiple places during it because when it was happening, we were all watching basketball. Y'all remember that? We was watching basketball. We was looking at what was. I was like, and I got into the equestrian sports this year during 2024's Olympics. I did. I watched them ride horses for 2 hours. It was crazy. But in that same time period, the idea is the Olympic judging is not used to what we would consider urban breakdancing. Okay, they're not scoring it based on that. They're looking at the choreography based on what they know for the sport. So if you bring in a little, if you want to put in some of that flavor, you know what I'm saying, some of that what is it, Melbourne, Australia street pop, you know what I'm saying? She might not have progressed as far. But yes, you are correct. Miss Rachel Ray Gunn is out here in the streets. Kangaroos ain't got nothing on Miss Ray Gunn. Okay. And Katie Ledecky, yeah, big shouts out to you know what I'm saying, water woman, you know what I'm saying. I thought that was a great plug for her as well. You know what I'm saying? Her, Mark Spitz, and everybody, all the Olympic swimming team, man, doing it real big this past Olympics as well. Man, so that's a great way to start the show, guys. So we got big shoes to fill, as of course Miss April has left it wide open for us. So big shouts out for you for Women's Month. Let's go ahead and get that done. Man, so as we move forward on to the show, we're gonna go ahead and get to something I think that is smoking in the minds of one of our favorite correspondents. Some NFL news took place, right? And somehow, some way, I don't know if Jay can contain this information any longer. So we're gonna go ahead and let him get to it. We got right. You know what I'm saying? We got the 49ers trade Deebo. So we go back to the command center with Jay. Jay, man, I believe I think you were indisposed when the news got shared, Jay. So you have to first off, you have to give us the details, what took place, and then give us your reaction for the 49ers trading Deebo.
I mean, we basically flipped uh basically the Jahan Dotson trade. We basically flipped it a little bit in terms of also, trading for Deebo Samuel for a fifth round pick. But uh I don't know, man. When you basically end up getting a Deebo Samuel and Marshawn Lattimore for a third, fourth, and a sixth round pick, what I'm saying? That's pretty good. If they pretty much pan out, if they produce. We talking about two guys, two getting a little long in the tooth, and injuries are starting to hamper them a little bit. And with Deebo, man, we got Deebo now, man. We got what I said I did not want. And just simply for the fact that he gets a large ticket, man. It's a huge ticket. Um, we're only paying 17.5 million out of his salary, which is cool. Uh, that doesn't count much against. I think that leaves us with like 60 something million, 66, 67 million. Uh, we still have a lot of moves to make, man. Everybody's thinking, everybody's has their remarks on we're not done, or hope we don't think that that move is gonna get us past the Eagles. We know that. We know that. And then with the Saquon, Barkley news today of him getting what was it, 41, 42 million for 2 years, making him the highest paid running back. Like, he deserves that. He deserves that. But that's some money. That's some money. We have a lot of money. Right now, Adam Peters is pretty much just sitting still, watching all these people get cut, watching all these transactions take place, and we're gonna strike. And we're gonna strike. So I mean, you know, you got me singled out here. Like this is a great conversation for all us to have about what Debo can bring to our offense, to our team. I guess your opinions of the moves. What y'all thinking, Bobby?
So
Oh, go
I
ahead.
I was in Walmart. I'm gonna just tell you where I was at. I was in Walmart. I was checking out, and in the Walmart that I frequent the most, they have a little barbershop. So I'm walking past the barbershop, and I just stop in the middle of the main alleyway, and I'm just staring at my phone, and I'm like, "Oh shit, not Deebo!" And I stop. All I see is all the guys in the barbershop grab their phone and start looking. I love Depot. He wasn't on a team that I normally root for, so I really don't care. As long as he didn't go to a team that I absolutely hate, and I don't hate the Commanders. But I mean, I think it's a good look for him. I think it's a good move. I think he's gonna ball out. Um, he has a lot of fans. He has a really, really big fan base. So, Jay, please understand, all these Carolina fans that rock with him in San Francisco, they now gonna be Commanders fans or rocking with him while he's in Washington. So just embrace all the Carolina love. It's a lot of us. We may not root for y'all every Sunday, but we gonna root for Debo. I don't care if y'all win or lose, but we gonna root for Debo. Just know that.
Bobby G, man, your take on the trade and how it will affect the Commanders going forward.
I mean, just looking at recent history, it should be beneficial if you look across the league at the first year of premier wide receiver trades. No matter how you feel about Debo doing the skill, he is a premier wide receiver. That first year has seemed to work out for everybody. Like Tariq's first year in Miami was successful. AJ Brown's first year in Philly was successful. Even if you look at the Browns, I know we ain't the best team, but Amari Cooper's first year in Cleveland was successful. Even Jerry Jeudy this year literally turned his career around. Stephon going to Buffalo, and he may be, singled out because he didn't have that good of a year this year in Texas, but his initial trade to Buffalo that worked out in that initial year. So let's just say in recent history, more often than not, that first year has been successful. So the Commanders have every reason to be optimistic.
I mean, from the standpoint that I guess all of the opinions that I've been hearing, one is he's washed. I mean, when it comes to our offense, Cliff Kingsbury and should I say Jaden Daniels threw the most screen passes. I'm not saying that we're gonna go up the field, throwing screen passes all day, but the way our offense is built, it's almost tailor made for somebody like Debo. Um, Hopefully, he's coming in healthy, but in the grand scheme of that offense, his blocking is valuable. his blocking is going to prove to be, and this is where y'all going. Y'all heard it first, because you're going to hear every analyst trying to sound like the smartest man on earth. When Deebo catches these blocks, and they're basically saying like, look at him. This is how he fits in the offense. This is tailor made for him. Right now we only have 2, 3 receivers. Count Luke McCaffrey. People can kind of leave him out a bit, but Dammy Brown is a free agent. Zacchaeus is a free agent. So we still have some holes to fill. I just like it as a positive move. It's a very positive move. I'm waiting to see. I don't know what. I know the 49ers have to sign Purdy. That's why they didn't take the Jonathan Allen, because they actually had Jonathan Allen in this deal, and they decided not to take Jonathan Allen. Too rich for their blood. Same reason why we're letting him find a trade partner, because who else is going to pay you 72 million? He wants an extension. And from what I'm gathering, it's a little too not rich for our blood, but just more than we want to give him. But schematically, I want to see how this team gets put together. I think it's going to be just as active or more active than it was in the off season last season. So we'll
Hey, how's
see
your
what's
O
up.
line? How's your O
I
line?
mean, not that good,
Mm.
not that good.
If
But
they fix
see,
that
that's
in
the
the
thing.
draft,
Mhm.
because I'm looking at the depth chart now.
Yeah, we got Coleman. Coleman, we got out of the last draft, and he
I
wasn't
feel
he
like
wasn't due to
if you
start.
if you fix your O line, y'all might take the Eagles. Fix your O line, replay that game from the playoffs, y'all might take them.
Yeah.
I like Deebo on Washington. I like Deebo on the Commanders. If y'all fix y'all O line,
I'm gonna jump. I'm
y'all
gonna
might
jump out
take
there and say.
Terry.
I'm gonna jump out there and say, man, this offense is taking a step in a positive direction. Last year, we got a chance to watch a lot of the games. Alongside Jay and his emotional standpoint, being that that's his team. One of the main thing is that we've got a chance to listen to Jay, and I think is important. And I know he's mentioned it on numerous occasions. Is that having the salary cap be one of the selling points for this year's Commanders roster will be huge. If the addition of Debo doesn't make you feel good, then just imagine having what you say, what is like Jay, like $62 million more left, where you could sign a $20 million receiver, possibly like T. Higgins, who currently is being held in purgatory on a franchise tag. Just imagine, hey, look, they gave away Debo for a fifth. I can only imagine that T. Higgins will possibly be like several seconds or a third and a second consecutive in years or something crazy, a conditional pick maybe. And then you take him and go, hey, look, we're gonna pay you, we're gonna extend you, and you get to play with one of the hottest quarterbacks. I think this is a great move, very similar to what Philadelphia did the year before last when they got AJ Brown from Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? It's picking up the pieces where it really belongs. And I think that that's great. Hey, look, man, you know how it
It's an
goes.
automatic first, though.
Oh, so what?
It's an automatic for once they put the franchise tag on you. It's an automatic first.
Automatic first.
It's
Then
an
yeah,
automatic first.
let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and get it out there. Go ahead. Let's see what happens, because what with the way that the Commanders are playing, they're not having a lottery pick. They're going to be 20, 19, 17. What pick y'all got this year in the first round, Jay?
Yeah, it's 29.
Yeah,
And
see, I'll give it. I'll give 29 up. I'll give it up.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
I just think, there's a lot of factors in why Debo should be taking this season personally, because this is a prove it year. This is the last year on his contract. He'll be a free agent after this year. Will we extend him? This is perfect leverage to say, hey, prove it. We got you out of there. Prove it. You know what I mean? And I'm excited. Yeah, the offensive line. uh so many holes around. We improved. We got a lot of help. We got Cosme. We got again, we got Coleman in the draft. We added some help. You got Kappa just was let go. You know what I'm saying, from the Bengals. Uh, the Bears went out there and snatched up. Pretty much made a deal for a great offensive lineman off the Ram. So like it's gonna be slim picking soon. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna be making a move. I think we're fine in that aspect. I'm more. I don't know. I'm still curious about how we're gonna be looking as far as the running back position. This is great to get somebody like Deebo, but we got Eckler. We had Eckler. It's funny. I'm getting all my fantasy football heroes, like one by one. You know what I'm saying, on my favorite team. You know what I'm saying, for once. So I'm excited with the way everything is going. I just think that I think I think Adam Peters is playing chess. I was having fun with somebody I know, just laughing about it and just saying like Adam Peters right now is torturing everybody else in the front office because he's that type of person. Seems like hey man, what we doing today? What kind of move we making? Like free agency coming up. What we doing? And he picks up his phone rings. He's one of those guys like, and then he goes in his office and he closes his door. You know what I mean? So I think he's that type of person. And everything is pretty much tight. You know what I'm saying? Where he's not telling anybody anything, and he's gonna strike, and I think he's gonna be very active. And like I said, it's only looking up. We're gonna make improvements basically from where we've been. Same activity, just probably a better standard of player. That's all.
Let me give you one ism though, Jay.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you one ism, Bobby G ism. Because I love when people use the chess. Everybody's playing chess, not checkers. I would only say be wary because there's kings and checkers too, and the king on the checkerboard is way more powerful than the king on the chessboard. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow. You got
I told you now we playing Madden. We playing Madden.
The king on the checkers board is more powerful than the king on the chessboard. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm fine. I know I'm fine. I just want everybody to just sit back and watch. Sit back and watch how a GM there's some guys in here like Sam Presti for Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm putting out my here it is, yo. Here I am with my OKC reference. There are some people who are given a chance to innovate the game and what they do.
Facts.
There are some people who when they get the opportunity, they take what they learn and they move on and they innovate. And there is no better situation that you want to be in than a franchise with a new owner, a lot of money to spend, a multi-franchise guy who knows how to win championships, and then basically puts everything into you. All the resources, you got Magic Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Just the thirst for winning. That you do not sit back and just grab this person and grab that person and say, "Hey, I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of people together and we're gonna make a team." Like that. That's not that type of the method that you use with that type of people over your back. And I feel like what we're gonna see, mark my words, what we are gonna see is a GM, like I said, like a Sam Presti at OKC, and going years and years, we're gonna be hearing about what he did these years coming up. Starting from last year, getting Jaden Daniels, going into the future. I just really feel that he has an opportunity to be that type of guy that's going to be revered for like he's definitely going to be highly touted for what he's done in this run right here.
And we can't wait to see the end result. First of all, you know how we do. When football season rolls back around, we will be keeping an eye on the Commanders. I guarantee you that. But right now, I got my eye on the green room, and we got two people back there we got to bring up front. Of course, we got one of our favorite correspondents, Let's Talk Sports, most improved and rookie of the year recipient. Always down, always doing his thing. You can catch him on Tuesdays and Saturdays on All the Mat. Just got finished rewatching the Elimination Chamber. Word is out on the street that the NWO is back in black, baby. One time for our guy, AP Allen Perales, man. Allen, what's going on?
Couldn't see it happening, man.
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody
saw it coming.
I
will say this, Jay. I do love what your GM's doing. The only problem is he's the second best GM in the division next to Howie Roseman.
Hey, we'll see. We'll
and
see.
I also would like to thank both of y'all because y'all finally woke Jerry Jones from his coma.
Oh yeah, y'all got the little.
He finally started making moves today. They did more today than they did all of last year. They did more today than they did all of last year.
Yeah, but what do you think that gets? I don't know. Let me.
I will say this:
Deebo
is what is the guy? Who's the slot guy you all brought in last year?
Zacchaeus?
Not Zacchaeus, the other one.
You talking about Dammy Brown?
He used to be on the Jets for a while.
You talking about Jamison Crowder?
Crowder, yeah. He's basically a bigger version of Jamison Crowder.
And that's the thing. If we can get Jamison Crowder 2 tutties in a game, I'm pretty sure he can look Samuel's way. So that's another thing. You know what I'm saying?
Deebo when healthy is a game changer. Deebo when healthy is a game changer.
Most definitely, Deebo's a game changer. Most definitely. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, we got to bring in one of our favorite correspondents, when it comes to just about anything sports, but just so happened it's so many Georgia Bulldogs in our second hour. We have to bring him in, man. Let's go ahead and get ready. One of our favorite guys, man. He's got a key to the rec room for sure. Give it up for the big homie Champ. What's going on, Champ?
How you guys doing, man?
All right, man, Champ.
Hey, good to be back. Yeah, man, good to see all of y'all, man. April, hell of a job on that women's history segment. That was enjoyable. I really appreciate that. One more fact: did you know that Don Staley has the most championships of any black coach in any sport?
Of any sport? I didn't know of any sport.
Of any sport, she has the most championships of any black coach of any American sports.
Any sport.
That includes the NFL.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to Don Staley once again, doing the thing. So, Champ, man, as you were in the green room, we were discussing the acquisition of Deebo Samuel by the Washington Commanders. What's your opinion on that, man? How you feel about it?
This is a contract year for Deebo Samuel. So he should have a good year, but let's hope that we're getting vintage Deebo Samuel and not Miles Napier. Remember last year he had Butterfingers. He was dropping that ball left and right, and he showed up, my size, so that didn't help anything out. So he has a lot of work he has to do, and he's on a 1-year deal. So you got a lot to prove this year. And the indictment upon you is if you come in and this offense gets worse, because they did it without a second receiver, a true second receiver. So you're coming in as a second receiver, you're going to be, second fiddle to Scary Terry. Hey, how are we going to be able to run that offense with you in it? Now, this is Cliff Kingsbury. He's going to be able to do a lot of things and maneuver him in the offense, kind of like Kyle Shanahan was able to do, if not better than Kyle Shanahan was able to do. But, you got a lot of work to do. You got to get back in that gym. You got to stop coming in leave the po' boys and the daiquiris and the hookahs alone, and you need to come back in shape, man, because you don't need to be down here hanging out in the deli with me, man. So
yeah.
Wait a second,
and no funny suits. No funny
I
suits.
was just about to say, you said daiquiris. You got to leave the daiquiris and the hookah. Now look, champ, I want you to jump out and jump right back in because what you say is normally important, but it sounds like we're a little out of sync. So we're gonna let champ rewind, and we're gonna get right back into that. But the second look about a couple things that I'm noticing, what I'm saying, we haven't paid no attention to, or if we didn't get a chance to bring it up while we're waiting on champ. So everybody got a chance to see Saquon Barkley's announcement. His contract. Y'all saw that? Y'all heard about it? Yeah. Okay. Saquon Barkley, after having an incredible 2024 season, is crazy, right? He gets the 3-year, $37.7 million guaranteed or something crazy with 40. Well, it's 41.2 altogether, but the 37.7 guaranteed. It's magically going to be making him the highest paid running back of all time.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yes, Champ. We can now. I was just talking about Saquon while we were waiting on you. Champ, did you hear about Saquon and his contract?
Oh man, I love it, man. I hope this is the beginning of the best part for running backs at this point. Right. I hope this is the beginning of the best part because he was an integral part of. This was the best year for a running back since Adrian Peterson led the league in rushing. This was the best year. This was arguably the greatest year since that time. And when you look at all the playoff teams, the running game was an integral part in every last one of the offenses. Think about Derrick Henry. Think about Saquon himself. Although he didn't have a high volume of rushing yards, think about James Cook. He led the league in touchdowns. He was a big part of that Buffalo Bills offense. Move on down south to my Atlanta Falcons. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Aguilar, big part of the offense. Move back on up north to Detroit. Sonic and Knuckles. Move on the west side to San Francisco. Look at those running backs. The running game is becoming very much a part of the NFL at this point. And now that you're seeing that, hey, you're going to have to start paying these running backs. And I hope this is the beginning of the best part for the running back position. At the same time, listen, I'm just going to be real. Everybody ain't Saquon. All right? Everybody is not Saquon. Understand, that is an exclusive contract. He just rushed for 2,000 yards and was a big, huge part of his team getting to that bowl. And if you really want me to be honest about it, the whole offense, if the whole defense of that team, the Kansas City Chiefs, was circled around trying to stop him. And that's what freed up the passing game a lot. So everybody ain't Saquon, but I hope that the top running backs in the league, like Bijan, like a lot of these other guys that are coming up for contracts pretty soon, I hope that if they're able to perform and be an integral part of the offense, that they get paid. Well, I hope that this is the beginning of the best part for these great running backs because they sure as heck deserve it. Because they do a lot of ground and pound effort. I know that the quarterback, what I like to call the milk drinking quarterbacks, get there just do because they want to pass the ball all the time. But guess what, man? When you ain't got no running game, you ain't got too much. If you don't believe that, look at what happened with Patrick Mahomes when he did not have Kareem Hunt. Because if it had not been for him getting suspended, we'd be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs as a whole other level of the dynasty at this point. If Kareem Hunt does not get in trouble, because he led the league in rushing that year, that Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. If he does not get in trouble doing the AFC Championship, and when they go on that run, we're talking about a whole another ballgame. We might even be mentioning Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the GOAT conversation right about now.
My thing, champ, one of the things what you just mentioned, and see, I don't know, go. I'm getting the same thing with the mic.
Yeah, it sounds like we're having some more interference with you again, chap. I don't know. Can you jump out and come back in?
What I was gonna say, What I was gonna say, what Champ was talking about is it's just like you said, everybody's not Saquon, but he did prove that if you got to go out there and basically be Superman, be pretty much the Swiss Army knife of the offense, and take them to glory, so on and so on. But there is a way to get paid. You just got to be the man. You know, we talked about how all these receivers are getting let loose, or they have these high contracts, to franchise, whatever the deal is. But we all kind of, Alan, even you too, we all come from a time that it was all about the running back. You had a great running back on your team, and you didn't necessarily have a good quarterback. You didn't necessarily have a good offensive line, a la Barry Sanders. You didn't necessarily, it was just put forth for all the running back. Then you put whatever you want around them. Like I said, now, man, it's getting their value back up in a way, where you're gonna have to go out there and really do it. But you can't get paid. You can't go out there. This is Bijan Robinson's, Sonic and Knuckles. You're looking at these new contracts that are going to be coming in soon. And these extensions. Some guys are going to be getting that bread. Some guys are going to be getting that money. And then one thing I wanted to ask Champ, man, is Champ back in?
Champ is not. I think maybe he's resetting everything. I did message him, but he should return shortly.
I wanted to ask him a question about Bo's a trip. But I wanted to ask him basically about Kirk Cousins, and basically what they put out about Kirk Cousins, saying that they were pretty much prepared to have him in as backup. They weren't pretty much interested in trading him. I think that's a load of crap. I think that they are trying to put some type of value in him to make it seem like he still has like even a half a year left in him. You know what I mean? And just for anybody to bite and basically say, hey, what you want for him? I know you want to keep him, but what do you want for him? If you just come out and just say, yo, he's a bum, he's done, nobody's gonna want him. But Champ, that basically I was
Boom. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it a
Correct.
delay?
No delay. Just a little bit of feedback. You might just have to turn it down on your end, I believe. Just a little bit.
Okay.
But Champ, I was basically speaking about the Kirk Cousins situation, and with the Falcons in the situation that they're in, they pretty much just said like, hey, we're gonna keep Kirk Cousins. We're pretty much look at a situation where we're gonna have him as the backup. We're gonna pay him his bread. We're gonna pay him his money. We're not trading him. And I don't know. I just feel like that is it's malarkey. I just feel like they trying to put some type of value into this guy so that somebody will say, okay, well, they still want him. That means he's still worth a damn. And I don't think they're gonna say, yeah, man, he's washed, he's a bum. Like, he's done. Stick a fork in him. Anybody want him? That's a whole different conversation from one to the next, right? So I don't know. I just wanted your opinion. Want to know what you felt about that, man. Since I've been hearing, and especially since his remarks from the nonprofit situation event that he was at, that he made. But yeah, it kind of sucks, man, for the Falcons, man. I think he will end up in Cleveland. No said.
Look, can y'all hear me? Is it no feedback this time?
No,
you good this time? All right, we clean now. All right.
I'm sorry, Bobby.
All right. Look, my main man Jay. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I don't blame him for keeping him because I'm not trying to get a cap hit. Because if I release him next year, then there's no cap hit. So I don't blame him for not releasing him. And you got to think about it. You know, they're trying to use him more as a insurance policy more than anything. Because guess what? You don't ever know what might happen. Injuries do happen during the course of the season. Injuries do happen. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. The law Murphy always kicks in, especially when it comes to two teams, the Atlanta Falcons and the Cleveland Browns. It always kicks in. So I think they're keeping him as an insurance policy just to make sure that nothing goes wrong with Michael. And also, like I said, I wouldn't want a cap hit of almost $28 million either. I'd rather keep you for that second year, let you, ease it on out. And guess what? After that, look, we can release you. You could go weasel another team out of another $100 million if you can. But guess what? You're going to stay here for the remainder of them first 2 years. Because you don't realize that contract was front-loaded. It was very much front-loaded. It was really a 2-year contract. It was a 2-year, $100 million contract. So after we release him next year, we don't owe him nothing. Nothing. And after that, that clears out at least $26 million in cap space. So if I'm Atlanta, I want that $26 million in cap space next year. So I can go out there and get some more free agents. But if I can sucker a team into taking on most of his contract, then that's fine as well. But I don't blame the Falcons. I'm trying to keep this insurance policy just in case Michael Penix Jr., just in case something happened in the preseason, something happened in training camp. You just never know. So I don't blame him. So, hey, Atlanta, look, do or die, man. Do or die. We're in a cry this coming year, man. You gave up a big, huge lead, which you have been known to do, by the way. So 28-3 ain't where it stops at. So you gave up a huge lead. You went from being the 6-4, and you just really, you just bit the dust. So you got a lot of things you have to address in the offseason in Atlanta. But luckily, I think our quarterback room is set. Even if Michael Penix Jr. ends up missing like a game or so, I think Kirk can get us through 1 or 2 games. But I think that Penix is going to do hell of a job this coming year. And look, he has an advantage. Teams have very, very little film on him. They have a little bit, but not much. So that, element of surprise is still there. So be on the lookout for him. I think he's going to do good with a lot of these weapons that we got in this offense.
And we hear you, man. We excited to, actually take a deeper dive into the Dirty Birds and this upcoming season. Champ, it's crazy because, we normally expect you to bring the fire to some of our most heated discussions. Earlier, you were having a little bit of some technical difficulties. We were having the discussion about Jay and his Commanders and Deebo. Did you want to throw in 10 cents before we move on? Because I know you were saying something, but we couldn't get all of it because of the synchronicity issue.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel, lead the daiquiris and po' boys to me, and you stick to football. You stick to football. You leave the daiquiris, the hookahs, and the sports bars and the hot wings and all of that to me, and you go play football, man, and go back to being Deebo Samuel instead of Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone.
If he on the contract, he'll do that.
So and yeah, to Jay's point, look, you got to prove it this year. You got to prove it this year. You out of the 49ers, you out of there. You want a second chance in order to get you a new contract? Here's your chance. And, with a mind like Cliff Kingsbury, you're definitely going to have a chance in order to do it. So go out there and be vintage Deebo Samuels. And I think they're going to utilize him. He's in a position where they're going to utilize him very, very well. If there's any offensive person that can use a Deebo Samuels, it's Cliff Kingsbury. I still believe this, though. This is what I still believe. The Commanders are some hogs away from being Super Bowl contenders. They get that O-line squared away, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So I believe that wholeheartedly. And big shout out to Magic Johnson, man. So
of course. Shout out to the Magic, man. Now,
I mean, the champ's point, especially in a division where the Giants are in a full-on rebuild, the Cowboys are in a mini rebuild, and all you have to contend with is Philadelphia. So,
man, Cowboys been rebuilding since 1932. Quit playing.
Dang.
Weren't even a franchise back there, but okay.
So look, man, what we were leaning on in the champ segment prior to was we wanted you to talk about Deebo. You came in talking about Kirk Cousins, but going towards the second half, which we will have the legendary Bo Crouch come in. Shout out to Bo Crouch from Football Talk with Bo. We're talking the combine. We're talking the combine champ. So what we wanted to know was is some Bulldogs of yours in the combine. Were there any Bulldogs that you had in mind that you wanted to bring to the forefront that we should watch or should pay attention to as they made some noise during the Underwear Olympics?
A lot of them had some pretty performances in the combine. There was no real big winner. I know our defensive tackle, he did a hell of a job. I know Starks, he did a pretty decent job, but they're calling him kind of a big loser on that day. But yeah, I think Pro Day is really when they're going to show their true colors at this point. Mm-hmm. I really didn't see one of the great performances from the Georgia Bulldogs like you would see in the past. Now, I will say this. When it comes to the combine, Baseball Tootin, he won the combine. Baseball Tootin won the combine. So, but as far as performances is concerned, there was not that one Georgia Bulldog performance that just jumped out at you. Like I said, even our star safety, they're calling him one of the losers in the combine. So I'm like, we're gonna have to see what happens at that pro day. But Baseball Tootin was good. I'm hoping that we can get as far as my Atlanta guys go. Start looking at Myles Garrett Jr. if you can in Atlanta. Shamar Stewart and James Pierce. They say James Pierce has some character issues, but it remains to be seen. But start looking at some of those guys, man. And look, Tyler Aguilar's contract is up next year. Go ahead and start looking at his replacement. And I think Baseball Tootin will be perfect for that. So start looking, Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a great direction to be looking here, man. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, one time for your mind, everybody. This is the Rec Room Sports Show. It is Tuesday. We do got a full roster in the building today, and it's crazy because somehow magically we have breezed through that first hour. So I got to make sure we get represent for everybody on the show. One time for AP Allen Perilous. Allen, now your regular schedule, man. You got so much going on. Tell us what you do during the week because you got Tuesdays and Saturdays on the mat. You just watched the Elimination Chamber. John Cena came out, but we didn't see him. Some wild stuff just happened. Tell us what you got going on for the rest of this week, bro.
Well, as you mentioned, Sam and I have our therapy every Tuesday and Saturday with On the Mat. And then we do baseball show every Wednesday, but not this week. We're taking a break this week. And then on Lock It In with Tanner and Scott every Saturday here on Rec Room Sports. So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Of course, man, we got our guy, Bobby G, man. Audible Bobby G, man. So one of the hardest working brothers we know, Bobby G, man, with that Audible podcast, man. What y'all schedule look like this week?
As of Thursday, there will be no episode of Audible Reacts. Got some more movie passes going to check out Novocaine. So I'll let y'all know what the deal is on that. Friday, return to Audible Sports Podcast with Sports Meets Life and Culture. And we'll be discussing Rolling Stone's recent release of the top 100 R&B songs of all time. So we're going to tear that apart, see what they did right and wrong, and, talk some other trash.
Big shouts out to the Audible podcast. Make sure you like and share and subscribe to that one because I'm gonna be trying to see what's going on with that top 100 R&B songs. You're gonna have some soul on it. You gotta have some original R&B up in there. You know what I'm saying? James Brown. You gotta have some Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little Hall of Notes in there. Watch Hall of Notes sneak in the back door. Watch out for that now. You know what I'm saying? What type of chat, man, or what you got going on this week as far as your podcast are concerned, my brother?
Oh, we just did an episode yesterday, live on simultaneous broadcast with Raw, reacting to the Elimination Chamber, the John Cena heel turn, asking was it the best heel turn of all time, as well as some of the most lackluster heel turns of all time. So that was pretty good. I think we will be back on the air this coming Saturday. I will be covering. I'm going to be doing it different this year. I'm going to be covering NFL free agency, and I will be covering the women's side of March Madness this year. Not the men's side. I'll be covering the women's side of March Madness of this year, just like we covered the WNBA last year. So I'll be covering the women's side this year, not the men's side. And Friday, of course, I'll be on Sports PSP's podcast, Bringing the Flair as well, with the Bermuda Triangle, myself, PSP, and BRF Sports, man. So, big ups to those guys and big ups to all of you guys. Thank y'all for always inviting me, man. Like I said, it's when you stop getting invited to the house that you have to be worried. So thank y'all, for always inviting me to y'all house and, always giving me a place to crash out and have a smooth bill over the weekdays on a Tuesday and then sending me back home with a smile on my face. I really appreciate it, man.
Man, you know what time it is, man. You one of the people that come and do the dishes and use like 2 cups and 2 plates, but we don't even know it because you put it back in the cupboard. Unlike some people who just leave stuff on the dining room table as if I was behind you or something. So we appreciate it each and every time, man. And hold on, wait. I think Miss Jets Girl is back in. Hey, Miss April. Okay, Mama Bear, we gotta have her on the show. And make sure of course, you check out Jay and myself and Bobby G. We will be on Friday for In the Hoop with Rec Room. You know how we doing that. We're doing the NBA show. AP, Alan, I didn't know if you had to work, Alan.
I'll be there. I'll be there Friday.
Alan be like, man, I gotta work 14 hours. I'm going to bed on y'all. I am not.
I probably will have to leave here pretty soon because I do have a 10-hour day tomorrow. But
there you go. That's a hard working man. That's a hard working man right there. We understand, Alan. We definitely do. But after like we always do, we got guests on top of guests on top of guests. The second hour is already in full effect. So you know what we got to do? We got to bring in one of the hardest working brothers on Roku right now, man. You can catch him on Football Talk with Bo, on everybody else's favorite podcast, Talking That Talk and Walking That Walk. So we got to go ahead and bring him in, man. Mr. Bo Crouch. Whoa, Uncle Bo, what's going on?
What's happening, everybody? Always fun to be on the Rec Room.
Oh.
Man, you got a full room today, though.
Yes. There's so many people. So many people in the living room today. That's the fun part, of course, being with the Rec Room, man. But today, last week rather, we got a chance to take in the combine for a few days. And of course, we know that you had an adventure at the Senior Bowl where you got a chance to check out some of the guys that are going to be on that 2nd, 3rd, 4th day. And we always wanted to hear some of those stories about your adventure out there. So thank you for coming in, of course. Welcome to the show. And go ahead and run us, you got some time, man. Run us down a couple of how to go, what you do. Did you stay at a Holiday Inn? Did you feel smarter the next day when you woke up? That kind of thing.
Man, I wish I'd have stayed at a Holiday Inn. I stayed at a place that in the pictures looked all right. That is where the experience ended. So where I stayed, you don't want to. The thing that was good about it, though, was real close to the stadium, so I could actually walk there and back. So that was pretty cool. But highly not recommended to hang out where I was.
Yeah, hey, look, man. Sometimes those are hotels where you just got to check out the night staff. When you see the night staff, you know what type of hotel you
Right. Yeah. I think it was sticking to the carpet in the food area that was really, really punching the experience up for me. Like you were walking through and it was like the dirtiest dive bar ever. Like your feet are like, and you're just like, oh, come on, man. Like,
You gotta put your socks on and make sure you get your feet covered. I've been there.
socks, man, I'm talking work boots. You don't want to be not even messing around. But as far as the Senior Bowl experience, like it was very cool. It was exhausting, really hectic running around. We were able to have opportunities to interview the coaches and players in between each practice session each day. What they didn't tell you is you get 10 minutes, and that includes everybody being in a single line to get onto the field, right? So you're running around like a crazy person with your camera and all this stuff. And it was, that was pretty crazy. Watching the game from the broadcast booth was awesome, though. I do highly recommend that. But to answer your first question, one of the guys that really stood out in the wrong way during the Senior Bowl was Connerly out of Oregon, right? Like he was getting barbecued all week in practice. He got smoked during the game. Like guys were running by him, right? He was just a turnstile at tackle. But if you watch the combine, he had a good combine. He, he went through the drills. All of that looked good. So if you're a scout and you watch the combine and you watch some of his tape through the year, you're like, all right, this is that dude. But if you watched him get smoked by every defensive end all week down in Alabama, he may not be as high on your board.
Right. Dang. That's
Would you go by the combine or the eye test, Bo? I have to ask you that.
Oh, by the eye test. The combine's hilarious. The combines and pro days. I mean, it's not against defense. You're not in pads. We just watched you for years on film against like other dudes. I don't know why we're going to forget about that and be like, hey, you were awesome in the underwear Olympics. And it's like, well, you should be fast with no pads and no defense. Like, come on.
Right.
That should be your time to shine. Nobody's on the other side, right?
Right? Like, I mean, that's like shoot around by yourself on a basketball court. You better be good. Ain't no hands in your face. Ain't nobody bumping you. Like, you better make shots.
Yeah, because I had to ask you that because I saw the same thing when it came to Con. I'm like, man, he doesn't look good out there. But, everybody had him going back up their board when it came to the combine. And I'm like, did you just see this guy get cooked like fried fish,
Man.
On a Saturday night in the summer down south? I'm like, he just got cooked. But, they have him going back up the board. I'm like, oh, hey, I guess this is reaching season.
And that's what's a bummer about them not really televising tons of the practices. Because if you thought he got cooked during the game, dude straight got thrown on the ground in practice. I mean, just blown up. And yeah. I mean, he looked good in Oregon, right?
Right.
But I mean, let's be honest, college football, in your 12-game season, you're playing 4 good schools.
And I'm about to say,
right?
Oregon's new, switching around a little bit. Yep.
So
yeah,
I mean,
even the HBCU guys running them over.
Well, and that's the thing. And the rest of them, like, you're not playing anybody that's going to be, So could he beat up on a third stringer in the NFL? Sure. You going to encounter a lot of those? Probably not.
Probably not.
Wow. So, he's going to be an interesting one to watch. It's why I brought him up, is because his tape during the year was mostly pretty solid. Senior Bowl, as bad as it could possibly be, and then had a really good, combine. So it's like, okay, I'm curious where scouts are going to have him, because not all the scouts were at the Senior Bowl, because things like the East and West and the Shrine Bowl and all of those are happening similar times, right? And so that's somebody, that's a guy that might be high on a board because they just didn't see him get smoked all week in Alabama.
Right. They missed the fun part and then catch him at the combine and think he's all world.
Yep. And again, with nobody around you, you better be all world.
For sure. Crazy. We had a conversation yesterday. Bobby G brought up a great point. Bobby G, what was it you wanted to throw at Bo and see what he had to say?
I did. What did I say? No.
Awesome.
Playtime is over. Combine just finished. If you look at most mock drafts right now, they got 2 quarterbacks going in the first round.
Sure.
I don't think I can remember the last time only 2 quarterbacks went in the first round. So, post combine, how many, if any, and what names do you think might sneak into mid to late first round from the QB position? Who really helped themselves at the combine? Nobody?
Straight up, nobody. Dart had the best day,
Yeah.
but he's still a third, late second day kind of guy, right? Like he's going to be a late second round at best. It's probably a third, right? Milrose a third for sure.
Yeah, it's Milrose.
Yeah. He might be 4.
Gabriel probably a third, maybe a late second for the right place, but he's a little undersized, so that plays into it a little bit. Honestly, when you're looking at Cam Ward and Shador, if they came out last year, they're late first rounders,
mm-hmm.
right? Like they're not beating out guys that were ahead of them last year. So yeah, they're 1 and 2 because the QB class is weak. When you look at the receiver class, it's kind of the same. Like there's not a huge field of receivers that you're like, that's that dude. You're like, okay, there's like 2-3 guys. Everybody else is like, yeah, get them if you can. Right.
Yeah.
Really, when you're looking at this draft, if you're a team like my Seahawks that have an atrocious offensive line, you're excited about the fact that the offensive and defensive line groups are deep.
Right. All right. And then, okay. So with that, I'll follow up with, you always hear the rumors, the smoke screens, this and that going on. Today, I heard probably the most absurd thing I heard. It could be true, but right now it sounds absurd. Shador could fall to the 20s. How much validity do you give to that?
None.
You don't see him like falling to Pittsburgh, Bo?
No. I could see him sliding a bit, like just because there's some other needs.
Right.
But
we're at the lowest, like early teens.
I don't think it gets out of the top 10.
Yeah. Lower end of the top 10.
Worst case. Yeah. But realistically, you guys probably grab him.
And that's what that's the man. It didn't come from a Cleveland site.
Yeah.
But I heard something that somebody said there's the potential we could get Travis and Shador. And I was like, what? That's absurd. So somebody had mocked us taking Travis at 2, and then Shador fell to like the 20s, and we traded back up into the first and took him at like 25 or 26 or something like that.
They were like that good stuff.
Yeah. I'm with that, but I don't know. I might. What do you think of Will Howard?
You guys have some needs, right? So
not for the Browns, just in general. Like, what do you think of them?
Oh,
and mind you, I hate the Buckeyes, so I don't really care that portion. I don't care about. Screw Ohio State.
Yeah, good, right? Like probably a little bit of a project.
Okay. Do you fall into the category? A lot of people think his on the advice of his agent, because if you watch his combine, the accuracy was an issue. Yeah. But he didn't underthrow anybody. And remember, coming in, the question about him was his arm strength.
Yeah, well, he
do you buy in?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Do you buy into it that his agent said, make sure you overthrow everything? If you're gonna miss long.
And he did. That deep ball was 7 yards too long.
Yeah.
Like he'd have needed Superman to go get that thing. Yeah, no, I mean, he had the worst combine of the quarterbacks, hands down. Like it wasn't even close. And you can't even blame it on, his group struggled with the receivers they had because everybody else is hitting targets. So,
Right.
I mean, he just he had a rough day. One guy that wasn't at the combine because he's not a U.S. player that I think will be interesting to see if somebody grabs him maybe in the 7th round or as an undrafted free agent is this kid Elgersma out of Canada. They did invite him to the Senior Bowl. He played as well as anybody else. He had a bigger hurdle to climb, right? Like everybody had to learn the terminology because it was all NFL coaches, right? So they're coming from college programs, and so there's a learning curve there for everybody anyway. He's coming from Canada where they're playing CFL rules. So not only is he coming here and having to learn NFL terminology, he's having to learn where his guys are going to be. And he played as well as anyone else. So I don't expect him to be high on anybody's draft boards. He set a lot of records in Canada. It'd be real interesting to see which teams decide to bring him in for rookie minicamp.
Okay.
That's pretty dope.
What's his
Jay,
name again?
His last name is Elgersma.
Taylor Elgersma.
Taylor, yes. Yep.
Elgersma.
So I would keep an eye out for him. Again, not going to be a top prospect anywhere, probably not even on half the team's boards. But there's going to be a couple teams that will take a flyer on him.
Okay.
Somebody's going to give him a look because I know when you mentioned it and you said it's somebody from out of the United States. I forgot what I was watching, but they was like he's got all the quarterback metrics, size, hand size, all of that stuff that we're not only thinking about. He does have.
Yeah, no, I mean he is that prototypical guy, and I mean he set a ton of records up there. So I mean it's not like he is just an unknown product. I mean, he's done some work, but it's in Canada, so.
But it's Canada.
I mean, unfortunately, that's gonna hurt him as a prospect.
Yeah, Bo, how you pretty much explain the whole situation with the Senior Bowl, and then this definitely is that season for. I'm just gonna throw out this little fib about player A, or I'm gonna say that. Hey, he got caught at the strip club last night, to team B or to this press. So how much of that do you think you're gonna see this season? And it already got to start a little early from what I see. But like how much you think we're gonna see this weigh on a lot of decisions going into this first round?
Character is huge, especially in a draft where the talent doesn't have huge drop-offs, right? Like if you're picking somewhere between 10, 35, and 40, you're getting the same caliber guy, right? Offense, defensive line, linebackers, if you're picking between 10 and 35, maybe 40, there's not a huge drop-off. So if you get into some of these interviews and you don't interview well, or they see you out and about and you have some very obvious character issues, you'll fall out deep off a board, like rounds.
Yeah, that's
Can I ask
for
you
sure.
one last question real quick?
Of course, man.
Do you see, usually in the draft, we'll have an undisputed player that's number one.
Sure.
This year, you don't see that so much. It's like a lot of questions about who's being number one and who's number two. This kind of reminds me of the 1988 draft, where you had a lot of hidden gems on there, but you had a few big names, but not necessarily a lot of big names. Can you elaborate on that for me? Do you see the similarities that I'm saying, where the 88 draft had Thurman Thomas, Boomer Esiason, just to name a few, but those big, huge names that we needed at the top end, you just necessarily didn't see them.
Yeah, I mean, you only really have a handful of people that are anybody's really talking about. And then it goes directly from this is a top guy to this is a prospect. Like you're hearing guys in like the 5th or 6th pick where like, oh yeah, that's a solid prospect, not this is that dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very different because when you think of the top 10 last year, the whole way through the top 10, they're like, that's that dude. He could have been anywhere. But now you're at number 5. They're like, yeah, I mean, he's all right.
Like I said, it's a lot of similarities to this draft and the '88 draft. Well, like I said, you had your Hall of Famers, your Thurman Thomases, your boomers, guys like that. But it's just not necessarily after Travis Hunter, Sador, and a few other guys. Any other draft, these guys will be like really kind of like mid rounders.
I mean, to be fair, I think Hunter would be exactly where he is,
Right.
even last year, right? Like he is an elite talent. He's one of those big names for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like Shador, if this was last year's draft, he's day 2. Because you had 6, 7 other quarterbacks ahead of him, right? All of a sudden, I mean, maybe someone goes up and gets him as the last pick in the first round so they control that 5th-year option because then it makes some financial sense. But, I mean, you could get him day 2 last year. This year, he might be picked 2. So, I mean, it's just it's a huge difference between years. I really do feel like he probably is going to the Browns, though, because that quarterback situation is awesome.
Hey.
I heard that one.
Calm yourself.
Well, no,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
so I just look at it this way, right? They restructured and extended, which was their way of spreading out that cap hit so they can kick him to the curb.
Yeah, they're kicking the can down the road. They've been
100%.
The one thing I will say about our front office, they are master manipulators of the salary cap.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but eventually it gets you. Welcome to the Saints.
And Cap Hill and serious Cap Hill. And that's that's where kind of like drafting comes into play, man. And the draft, how everybody pretty much says is deep or is deep in this position or whatever. It's like the draft, we're talking about 2 quarterbacks who could get drafted in the first round. We used to talk about at least 10 teams that used to need a quarterback back in we talking about the '88 draft. Like, how many teams can we look at in 1988 that had, a Hall of Fame quarterback or even a quarterback that you wanted to hold on to for a multiple amount of years? And not very many. It was a lot of teams that needed quarterbacks. Going into the '90s, it was always the same teams like the Arizona Cardinals, New Orleans Saints. Atlanta Falcons. Washington Redskins. There was so many teams in the '90s that needed a quarterback every freaking year, right? So like now going into this draft now and these recent drafts, like if you draft well, if you do your research, you don't just go to one thing like the combine and skip the Senior Bowl, things like that. You will be able to see who you need on your team and fill that position. For us right now, the guy that I'm wishing for, I'm hoping for, I'm praying to God, please. Landon Jackson, 6'7", 280 defensive end. Dude, I need that. I'm sorry. He has to be a commander. I don't care if he has to be a commander. But yeah, it's all about, man, picking your groceries. Or you look at your fruit, your vegetables, and your meat. You know what I'm saying? When you go shopping, this is how you need to approach the NFL draft. Like, that's how you stock your kitchen in the right way.
I mean, it's funny, though, because when you think back to the '88 draft, yeah, there was only a handful of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but teams won without that, right? Because there was such a bigger emphasis on the running game that they try to pretend like doesn't matter anymore. Except the reason the Eagles just won is because they had a ridiculous running game. Hopefully that brings the running back paychecks back. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And
also a
having
level of
UT end
patience
like
too.
that would be amazing.
Hey guys! Oh wow! I just got word. So, Miss Jets girl got a question. Hold on, wait. Hey, Bo. So wait. Let me. I even got a banner for it. Hold on, wait. Bow. April, go ahead and go.
So I have two questions, and I actually, as we were talking, I thought of this one, and I want you to answer this one first because I know this is not going to be the answer to the actual question I want to ask you. Where do you see Abdul Carter going, even with the foot injury? Because I know some people have him at number 1. I've seen him within the top 5. Where do you see him going, even with the foot injury?
I honestly don't think the foot injury is going to hurt his draft stock. It's an issue for sure. But I really don't think it's going to hurt it, just because I think there's enough time to do something about it, right? If they're going to. So that being said, I could see he probably is still a top 5 pick. I mean, if it does hurt him, I still don't think he gets out of the top 10.
Okay. So, with that being said, who should the Jets pick at number 7? We have a lot of needs.
Right?
It's really bad over there. And I have a new GM. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know his name. He's not Joey D. Joey D. I trust still to this day because he has never done us wrong in the draft. But I have a new GM. I have no idea how his picks are going to go. And we have a lot of holes.
Yeah. So honestly, if I was the GM there, I would trade back. I would get more picks because, like I said earlier, there is such depth from the mid first round through the second round. I would probably trade back, get some extra picks because, you do have a lot of holes to fill and realistically probably have some more that are coming, right? Because we're about to hit free agency. And so there's about to be some bigger holes on that team. I would probably look to move off that 7th pick, get some extra ones, and just embrace the fact you're rebuilding.
Oh yeah, I'm 38 years into a rebuild.
Trust the process, right? It didn't work for them either. So
yeah, no.
Joe also does basketball. We had no clue.
No.
I figured I'd just slide that gem in there and see who got it. But yeah, that's probably not the answer you wanted, but
I actually like that though, because that does address a lot. Like, I'm be honest, if we still had Joey D, I would feel more comfortable going into this draft just because we've seen him take 1 or 2 picks and turn it into magic.
Sure.
So I'm just really nervous. We have too many holes to fill. There's a lot of guys that don't want to be there. There's a lot of noise around our organization right now.
No, it's going to be an ugly year. It's
yeah.
I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of hope for
I don't either, and that's why I watch baseball.
Well, so I'm a Mariners fan, so that doesn't do me any good.
Shall we? Don't wait. Don't get us started, Bo, because Miss April is excited about baseball season. We will get a whole nother conversation. I'll have to hold you down for a whole nother hour. Now, Bo, we're gonna get you out on this one right here. And this is real simple, man. First of all, we appreciate you coming like you always do. You bring the laughter, and the knowledge, so that's always great. Ask Champ, that's why he's got a key to the house. So just in general, the draft is oftentimes touted as somewhat starting on day 2, right? If
Sure.
you got a chance to watch a lot of guys on the Senior Bowl, who is somebody that you think is a day 2? Just like you said, the picks from 10 to 40 are damn near synonymous with one another. They all are on the same plane. What's a day 2 sleeper that you might have saw at the Senior Bowl, or you just think, hey, this guy's gonna fall? Went to a decent school. I've been looking at some stuff, some guys from Eastern Carolina. Eastern Carolina cornerbacks always show up somehow in the combine. They're always somewhere in the top. They're always reading in that top 10 area of defensive backs. Was there anybody that we should just keep our ears open for day 2?
So it's a guy that he may not even be day 2. But Olu Oladejo, he's an edge out of, I think it was, I want to say it was UCLA.
That's how I was about to say. That sounds like the guy from UCLA.
And he's probably a day 2 guy. But he is an absolute monster, right? Like this dude. Why I think he's a day 2 guy though is if I recall, he hasn't been playing football real long, right? And but he is, God, what was he? He was like 6'5" or 6'7".
Yes.
And just an absolute beast. And he has a really long wingspan, but he's still fairly quick for his size. And so I think one of the things where it makes him a day 2, possibly a day 3 guy is he doesn't have a lot in the bag of tricks, right? Because again, he hasn't been doing it a real long time, but as big as he is and as powerful he is, he does have the ability to just rip through. That's probably his best move is he has like a double rip to be able to get through people's arms. But he's also overpowering enough that he can just overrun a guy. That'll be a guy that he probably won't be a huge impact this year, but moving forward, if he can elevate his game, he could be a player.
Okay. Nice.
Nice. Well, Bo, you did it again, man. You know what I'm saying? We had a time schedule in mind. You broke it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the great part. That's the great thing about bringing you in. Once again, you always got the football acumen. There's somebody we didn't think about. And then, so of course, there's the things that we didn't see that you did. And once again, we really appreciate you bringing all of that to the show. Tell everybody who's still in there where they can catch you at, what you got going on for the rest of this week, man.
Yeah, so this week actually gets a little bit easier. Tomorrow is my normal super busy day. And then Thursday, I fly down to Cali to enjoy some sun until Monday. So I'm going to take some time off from being on camera. It's going to be weird. And but looking forward to that. But if you haven't seen me before, you can find me on my YouTube channel at Football-Talk. All those socials at Football Talk with Bo, Roku TV 5 days a week, and coming soon to 99.1 Atlanta in the Saturday and Sunday mornings. Can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I know. I just want to. I was saying it to myself, like, wait a minute, I should have hit the applause right there. But yeah, that's big news, bro. That's definitely big news. Oh, I can't wait to see what else.
Don't forget the little people.
Yeah, don't forget the little people when you move up. We got some plans too, Bo. And when we get a handle on it, I'm gonna fill you in because you're definitely a part of what we were thinking about as we move forward with the Rec Room Sports Crew, man.
Hey,
and
always down to play.
That's what's up, man. Once again, we thank you for being in, Bo. And enjoy what it sounds like you're going. You work so damn hard. We don't know if you're going on vacation or to scout, DBs. So whatever you're going to go do,
100% just vacation. My wife and I were going down to for her niece's 16th birthday. So we're going to be down there from Thursday to Monday. just enjoy some sun and be. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'll still have my laptop. Like I don't know.
Right. You go down to the hotel lobby, be like, "I'll be right back, babe."
I mean, yeah, because I'm gonna wake up at 4:30 in the morning anyway, because that's just when I wake up. Right. So when everyone else is gonna be asleep, so I'll probably still be working, but less.
Got you. Working less. Well, we appreciate you, man. Enjoy your vacation. We can't wait to catch you when you come back. We will be excited for more football talk with both. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo Crouch.
Take it easy, everybody. Great to see you.
Peace.
Wow, man. Of course, man. It's always great to have Bo on the show. And once again, everybody, make sure we're getting to the top of that second hour, so we're getting closer and closer to the end. Once again, man, it's your boy K with your mama's #1 draft pick. We got Miss Jess Girl, Miss April. Make sure you holler at her. We still got my country cousin Champ in the building. He's hanging out. He ain't going nowhere. We almost done. You might as well stay. And then of course we got Audible Bobby G in the building, man. Audible Sports Podcast where wellness and health and sports meets life and culture. It's something like that. Shout out to Audible Podcast, man. And then me, man, once again. So all of this combine talk, y'all, got me thinking. Do we know what is going on at the combine? Are you aware of the types of activities that these athletes have to go through? You know what I'm saying? Do you know exactly what's going on when you hear about the 20-yard shuttles? You know what I'm saying? Are we the 3-cone drill? We testing athletes' speed, agility to change the direction. You want to know about that 20-yard shuttle agility test where we're going basically left, then right, then left again, depending on which way the coordinator is having us go. Like all of this stuff is very, very intricate, and it's going down each and every year. And it's normally held at the Oil Drum in Indianapolis. But a lot of what goes on is, hey, what's up, everybody? All right, yeah, we got company on the show. Okay. What? Okay.
QB1 right there.
QB1. Yeah, we heard about
you. Champ.
We heard about you. Keep doing great on the field and in the classroom.
He can't hear you.
That's the big deal. I know. Yeah, you got to tell him.
Yeah, school work together. That's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as we know, of course, what normally happens is the glamour positions get a lot of attention. When I say glamour positions, we talking about quarterbacks. Defensive backs get a lot of love. Wide receivers get a lot of love. Defensive ends, but somewhere in there, we don't get to talk about the big boys, man. What's up with what's up with it, man? What's up? Big man balling time. That's what we do right about this time each and every year. I'm just going to give you a couple of big men to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Hey, well, you like a big man, don't you? How about let's go ahead and run it right quick as we bring into the attention some of the more highly touted offensive tackles as of right now. Let's go here. How about we got someone little known school, but it actually has made a lot of waves in the past week or so. We're talking about Sacramento State's Jackson Slater. Shout out to him. He was a 4-year starter out there at Sacramento State. Primarily played left guard, but has played all positions on the offensive line. What about Jared Wilson? Jared Wilson out there in Georgia. That's right, champs. You know what I'm saying? He gets a little love from out there. He is a bulldog. What about Marcus Ware? Marcus Ware from Montana State. Originally committed to Montana State in 2019 as a defensive lineman, but he switched to offense in 2022. He spent the majority of that time between 22 and 23 at right tackle and moved to right guard last season. Drew Kendall from Boston College. Man, the big dog played 1,308 snaps at center. Who in the hell knew that you could play 1,308 snaps at center? But when it comes to the payday, the money makers, the big dogs up front, right? We got to talk about the ones that are going to be getting the checks and will more than likely be lottery draft picks. And I'm talking about guys that are going more than likely within the top 10 picks. And if they're not in the top 10, I guarantee you at least these three that I'm going to bring to your attention, will not be going past 20. And we had a few. You're right. We had a few of them tonight. You said you wanted to pick meat from the groceries and all kinds of stuff. I remember that. But anyway,
You got one big fella though.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, bring him up. Who you got?
Jared Allen. He had 25 points, 17 rebounds tonight.
Oh my goodness.
22-point victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You snuck that in there.
Just in case you didn't know.
Hey, where are you? He's talking about the Cavs during the football segment.
You said big man balling. Hey, it's a big man balling. I
got a question. I got a question for you, Bobby G, but I think I'm gonna save it for Friday because I think that'll be a good one. But yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and give shouts out to the top 3 offensive linemen who, of course, if they make it into the lottery, they're going to be getting those big checks. Right now, we got Will Campbell from LSU. That's right. Will Campbell from LSU has been making a lot of noise. Right now, he has all scouts average position rank of 1. He is no further than 9.7 overall. We got to look at Mr. Melvin Eubanks. That's right, Melvin Eubanks, the big dog, straight out of Texas. That's right, hook 'em horns. Average scouts has got him listed as number 2. He should not go no further than 15. Then right there at number 3, we got Big Josh Simmons, straight out of Ohio State. He's a great athlete. He can move in space. He sets the tone on the line. Right now, he's ranked number 4 and should not make it past 22 based on several mock drafts. Now, what I also wanted to do was say, man, we talking about these offensive linemen. They making these moves, but can they really bust a move in the 40? Now, y'all know how it goes, man. One of the most viewed parts of the combine, and when I say most viewed, I'm talking about millions of people, hundreds of eyes, stopwatches, clocks, phones, cameras are put on these men as they run 40 times. Now, I don't know if you ever seen it, but a 360-something pound man running a 40 is an interesting sight. And they have got some moves on them, some speeds, even though they're big men, they got some quick feet. Okay. So what we're looking at right now is the top 4 40 times. Matter of fact, we might as well just make it 5. The top 5 40 times for the offensive linemen. All of them are tackles. We got Teron Armstead from the University of Arkansas back in the day, ran a 4.71. Lane Johnson in 2013 ran 4.72 from Oklahoma. Avante Collins in 2017 ran a 4.81. Brian O'Neill and Jared Wilson from Georgia and Pittsburgh ran a 4.81. And then this past year, hold on, let's get, because I got these numbers because those were the tops ever. So let's do now 40 for right now. Because this is actually a heavy 40 speculation draft from what I've been reading. Okay, so the top runners in the 40 for 2025, we got Jared Wilson from Georgia. There we go, another Bulldog champ, 4.81. We got Armand Membu, straight out of Missouri, the offensive tackle, 4.91. Janaya Savanaya, I believe that's what it is, straight out of Arizona. He's an offensive tackle. Tate Rutledge, 4.97 from Georgia. Will Campbell, the number 1, possibly number 2 offensive lineman off the board with 4.98. And then Ariante Ursay, straight out of Minnesota with the 5.01. So look, bro, I don't know if you know that is anything under 5 for somebody that size is pretty darn fast, man. Bobby, you running 40 times back in the day? How you was pretty quick for
I did. No, I wasn't a speed guy. I was an intellectual. I ran a 40. It was like 4 or 5 something.
Okay.
Nah. I was a safety though, so I didn't need to be fast.
Right. You just need to lay them out. Just make sure they don't get past you. Avery, you had your mic on mute. What did you say?
I did. No, I was a safety though, so I didn't need to be fast.
Right. You just need to lay them out. Just make sure they don't get past you. Say, Avery, you had your mic on mute. What did you say? No, we still can't hear you, dear. Come on back. Uh-oh.
But while we were away from that, I'm telling you, hey, shout out to Mr. Bond from Texas, who his draft stock should fall just for being a liar. Mr. I'm gonna come out there and break the 40 record, and then went out there and ran like
Yeah. I felt bad for Buddy, man. I felt bad for Buddy. For real, I did. I was like, man, of all the times to not be what you say you is, you know,
You
man,
ain't that dude who you say you is. I know,
yeah,
I
well, you
know,
were
I know.
nowhere near.
But speaking of, what I'm saying, we might as well go ahead and look at it. So for 2025, man, the fastest 40 times, clocked in 2025 goes to Maxwell Hairston, the DB out of Kentucky. He did a 4.28. Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas, the big dog, did a 4.29. Darian Porter, the DB out of Iowa State, ran a 4.3. Dante Thornton Jr. that ran another even 4.3. Bashul Tootin. Yeah, shout out to Bashul Tootin. I think he's actually going to be one of them second, third day running backs. Bashul Tootin ran 4.32. Caleb Ranshaw out of Tulane. I watched one of those games. He got a lot of good eyes on him right now. Caleb Ranshaw out of Tulane, the DB, did a 4.33. Shamir Dyke, all right, straight out of Florida, did a 4.34 as well. So the fastest times for 2025 seem to all be held mainly by wide receivers and DBs. And we got a couple running backs who snuck up in the mix as well. I'm excited for this one, bro, because in real life, these 40 times could be the difference between you getting the check you want and the check you deserve. So it's exciting to see exactly what's going on, man. Chap, anything stand out to you this year about the last few Olympics is what's going on? I mean, excuse me, the Olympics, but the last few combine times and whatnot.
Look, when people talk about combine times, I look at that tape and I get impressed by it a little bit. But I got one name I want to bring to the forefront, and that name is Matt Mamula from the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. This guy, you know who I'm talking about, OG. This guy literally trained himself so he could go to the combine and do supreme work in the combine. But when he got to Philadelphia, he didn't do squat. He wasn't what they thought he was going to be. He made the Pro Bowl once, but all other years, he was pretty much a wash. So that's like I asked Mr. Bo earlier about the tape, because guess what? That tape, hey, a lot of things lie. Even numbers lie. No, they say numbers lie, but they say numbers don't lie, excuse me, but they're very, very deceiving at the end of the day. What matters is that eye in the sky. That eye in the sky do not lie. So the combine is good to look at. It's kind of like, watching a Ferrari do his thing and they showcasing everything. But at the end of the day, that tape gonna tell the story. So, hey, all of them 40s don't. Hey, if you don't believe 40s don't mean anything, Terrell Davis ran a 4.75 in the 40 when he came out. He ran a 4.75 in the 40. That is relatively, that is relatively slow especially for a running back. So you can't measure game speed and you can't measure who wanted it. So hey, Tom Brady ran a 5.4, 5.2. So hey, you can run all day. We've seen too many guys in the past, especially Deshaun Golston, who was arguably one of the biggest modern day busts ever. He could do the combine. He had one of the best workouts you ever want to have. Linebacker who went to the Jets, ran about a 4.340. Was just a monster at the combine. Couldn't read offenses. So it matters about that tape. The combine is good to watch, give you some good to watch in the offseason. But, as we saw, with Connor, from Oregon, that tape don't lie. And when you get cooked, when you in them full pass, you getting cooked by the HBCU players and all of that, guess what? That's what's going to tell the story. That is what is going to tell the story. So
this much pushback, champ. Just this much.
All right.
Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I saw a boy come off the edge, hit that running back and knock his helmet off, and I thought he was going to be the truth. That film lies. That film lies too. I saw a quarterback complete less than 55% of his passes. But what the film didn't tell you is he didn't play with any NFL talent, and now he's an MVP candidate consistently. That's Josh Allen. So that film can lie too. All I would say, man, take all the information you get. Just take all the information for what it is and use it for what you want. Just make sure don't rely on one individual thing.
That's true, OG.
Don't rely on one individual.
And if for those who didn't get it, I'm talking about Jadeveon Clowney. Sorry,
yeah,
that boy been stealing money for 10 years.
He a mercenary. He a mercenary, boy.
I mean, he did make the Pro Bowl a few times. I give him that much.
He making all the money because Lattimore was missing out because he had a bad knee. Anyway, champ, man, look, once again, we appreciate you being in the building, man. You know, as far as your shows for this week, y'all think you brought up a couple of them. Did you have anything that you wanted to jump in about and let us know as far as we go forward? What up with PSP? You and PSP got something to jump off this week?
Yeah, on Friday, as usual at 9:00. So stay tuned to that. Like I said, we did our show, the Undisputed GOAT podcast with Flash and BRF just this past Monday in order to recap the Elimination Chamber and everything of that nature. That was a good show, man. Watching John Cena turn heel was something of epic proportions, man. If you scroll down TikTok, all the thing you see is little kids crying. So, you know, that's just that just going to show you how epic that heel turn was. No, I think the most craziest one I see was it was a young girl and she was crying. She had glasses on. She's like, "Oh my God, that's messed up." That was a hoot right there. Oh, okay, with my bad for scaring you the other day, bro, about the wildfire.
I was like, "What? The fire? South Carolina? What the
the only thing, because the thing is, I'm like, "Hey, K went from South Carolina." I said, "Let me give him a ring. Hey, man, be careful of the wildfire."
Yeah. Hey, look, I appreciate you, brother. Because if I was in the upstate, you know what I'm saying, I would have been aware. But no, sir, I'm in the Midlands. If I am in South Carolina, but no, sir, we're not near the wildfire, fortunately.
Yeah. So my bad for saying like that yesterday, man. So my thought about that. I appreciate y'all as always. Like I said, like I always say, always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be here. I'm always humbled to be here. That's like I'm always pick up the phone when you call. And I always remember, for those who watch it, I will always say this: it's when people stop inviting you to the cookout, do you find yourself in trouble? So be humble. Be humble. Don't get too big for your britches.
For sure, champ. Once again, man, hey, you know how you do it, bro. You're welcome anytime, man. We'll check you out on the next round, champ. We appreciate you. Oh, all right. Hey, we did it, y'all. We getting to the end there now. But of course, before we go any further, we gotta holler at my dog Bobby G, man, with that slice of life.
No, I mean, keep this one simple, nice and simple, man. We got the great kickoff from April about Women's History Month. We all know this is Women's History Month, so you know that's what my slice of life focus is gonna be. For all my gentlemen out there, like, hey, let's celebrate. Let's take this time to celebrate and appreciate the women in our lives. You know, the great Tupac said, "We got our game from woman, name from woman." Hey, it's time we appreciate and praise our women. And no truer sentiment can be said in today's generation. So much turmoil going on in the world, and people not knowing where to look. You find yourself stuck. I know I find myself stuck sometimes, but the thing that brings me balance and solace is just thinking back to the lessons that I learned from my mother, my aunties, my grandmothers, currently my wife. You know, just having that person in my life that I can lean on and go to, and the shoulder to lean, shoulder to cry, somebody to pick me up, somebody to elevate me, and you know, recognize things in myself when I don't always recognize it. So just having that person in our lives, again, for most men, whether you believe it or not, think about it, it is a woman, man. Whether it be your mom, your sister, you know, cousin, auntie, like I said, significant other, wife, girlfriend, 9 times out of 10, when we need something in our lives, we look for the comfort of a woman. So hey, let's do what we got to do. Take care of our women, appreciate them, and let them know what they mean not only to us but what they mean to today's society.
Word up, son. Word up, yo. Miss April, how you feel about that, man? You just. Oh my God, just ladies getting all the love today for sure.
I feel our warm inside. Yeah.
Whoa, pause.
Oh my God. See, y'all just.
We ain't doing none of that soft. No, I'm just kidding. You know, but yeah, big shouts out to you, Miss April, and of course for representing for the women today.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. We can't wait to see what you bring next week. What's up?
Real quick. So we talked about the Columbine and we missed one person.
Okay. Who that?
Shout out to Nick. Nick ran a 4.38 on his 40. He's a safety from South Carolina.
Yes.
He was it was said that he was ranked the number one. He had the number one performance for his position in the Columbine ever.
All right.
Well, I mean,
I wish the Jets would draft him, but we don't need his. I mean, we need his position, but it's not.
So this is what we got. So this is what you got. You got Nick Warren right out here doing a 4.38 in the 40. Let's see what he did in the broad jump. Ooh. Let's see, he did.
Oh,
okay.
He hit
his 10 split. He got a 1.49. That's pretty good for a 10 split because that means he's moving pretty down fast. He did for his vertical. He had a 43-inch vertical. He got the 11.6. He got 11 foot 6-inch broad jump. He got the he a little further down for the 3-cone. Or no, maybe he didn't do a 3-cone. Then we got the 20 shuttle. He didn't run a shuttle. Did he do a bench? He did a bench though. He got 20 reps. Shoot, that boy swole.
And he still has his South Carolina Pro Day too.
Correct. He will also do a pro day where there will be exhibition. So, once again, it's a lot going on, even though it's a combine. We will be looking forward to some of these very specific, highly prestigious schools, the LSUs, the Ohio States, the Kentuckys, the Floridas, the Florida States, the Clemsons, the Alabamas, the Texas A&Ms. All of their pro days will be happening. And a lot of these guys who may not have scored as highly in unfamiliar territory in Indiana will be doing pro days, and we will be paying attention to that as well. So big shouts out to everybody for participating, man. We come to the end of the show, man. You know how it goes. We got to give a big shout out to what we'll be doing on Friday, because, of course, on Friday we got In the Hoop Friday from 10 p.m., 7 p.m. Pacific. Is a championship a bust for the Lakers? I don't know. It's a possibility. That's what we're talking about. Why is Donovan Mitchell in the top 10 of the MVP voting? And is the Mamba mentality real? That's right. Recently we saw what happened to Kyrie Irving. We're going to dive deep into that on Friday, because I don't know if you saw it, man, but I wanted to shed a tear myself and pat Kyrie Irving on the back. I'm going to tell you more about that on Friday, man. But I think we had a great show. Bobby G, man, you got anything you want to say in close?
The Cavs, look out for the Cavs. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Just look out for them.
Look out for them. Look out for them. Miss April, anything you want to say in close, ma'am?
It's almost my birthday, which means it's almost opening day.
Hey.
MLB. I can't wait.
On my birthday. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, it's an Aries party over here, because it's going to be you, Jay, me. It's all going down in April. So we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Once again, we appreciate you. It's the Rec Room Sports Podcast. Oh, look, Jay comes in because we said the word Aries too many times. Jay, what happened? Hold on, wait. Gotta stop the music. Jay,
Hey, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart. So our birthdays are 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, he came in to hate on the Cavs. That's what he came in. Kick the music. Let's go.
You on mute? Go ahead and go. All right, we can go ahead and go, man. We appreciate Jay. You know, we had a great show. We thank everybody for coming on. We got shout out to Bo, shout out to Champ, shout out to Alan, who's got to work a 10-hour day tomorrow, and big shouts out to everybody on the panel still. So for Jay, so for Bobby, so for Miss April. We are out, man. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see y'all on Friday.